I'm going to show you the best and fastest ways to make money in New World. I woke up this morning with 44,000 coins, and to me that's nothing. I've easily made and spent 250,000 coins in the 2 weeks since the launch of this game. And I'm going to show you different ways that I did it and different ways that you can make money. There's a lot of different ways to make money. I'm just going to go through them from like beginning to end, and you're going to see a bunch of different ways to make money. Before we start making money, though, you have to know how the trading post works. The trading post is the only good way to get coins. Now, the first thing that you need to know at the trading post that a lot of people actually don't know is at the top right, it shows you where you're showing orders at. You can look at other markets anytime you want. So if I want to go look at the price in Windsward for something, I can go to Windsward. If I want to look at the price in First Light, I can go to First Light. Or if I want to do all settlements, I can do all settlements. Now, with that out of the way, over here, you can search. So, for example, rawhide, you can type that and then click the rawhide. And you want to organize by price to see what the cheapest is. So right now, the cheapest is in Everfall at 0.3. Windsward, it's like 0.5. Okay. And if you look for different things, you could look up like linen, or you could look up complex things. So that's how that works. You're going to need to know how to do that so you know the price of items before you sell, what markets are going for, what's worth your time. Speaking of which, what's the price of flint? Okay. So that's how the market works generally speaking. And up at the top, there's sell and my orders. So my orders will show you what you have listed and what you have sold, the last like 15 items that you sold or something. But sell is where you go in order to sell things. So for example, I want to go into my inventory and I want to go by different resources, go by the amount I owned and say rawhide. I want to sell rawhide. So you go here, you click rawhide, place sell order, and then it would show you some of the competing ones. It's supposed to show the cheapest, but it's not always up to date. And then say I wanted to undercut, I'd be like 0.59. That'd be less than the 6.3. And then I'd choose the quantity. And let's say I sell all. And this order, how long you post it, determines the listing fee. So for 14 days, it's 19. For 1 day, it is 9. If you expect it to sell in a short amount of time, I usually just go for 3 days, which would be like, whatever. But if you want to go for a real long time, you're playing the long game, you can go all the way to 28 days. Okay, so that's how that works. Last thing over here is categories, help to organize things. So you can go to resources and then say refined resources, or you can go to arcana and look at the arcana or something like that. That helps out a lot for figuring out, going through and looking at different markets throughout the day. Now that you know how the trading post works, I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into this and show you different ways that you can make lots of coins in New World. I'm going to give you lots of ideas of how to make coins, and lots of them.
Let's start with the most basic way to make money. This is always the thing I tell people who have no idea what they're doing to get started. It's cutting young trees. Now, it's not the most glorious way to make money, but it makes a decent amount of money. Depending on the price of greenwood, you will make anywhere from 1,000 to 5,000 coins an hour. Maybe even more if the price goes high enough. But do not mine, I always call it mine, don't cut mature trees because aged wood is worthless. Now, this is at 14 days after the release of the game, so I have no idea if aged wood will ever be worth anything, but 14 days after the release of the game, aged wood is still worthless, so stick to young trees and sell the green wood. Do not refine it unless you see timber worth a ton, but on my server, timber is always worth less than the green wood or the same, so you actually lose money by converting the young trees, or the green wood, into timber. So just sell it as raw green wood for 1,000 to 5,000 coins per hour. Okay, same rule applies to hemp. If you want to instead get your gathering up, you can go to different places to farm hemp. Great places to farm hemp are southwest of Fort Windsward, all through here. This whole plains area has lots of hemp. Hemp is the same kind of deal. You can probably get, if no one else is competing with you, especially, you can get thousands and thousands an hour. You can probably make anywhere from 2,000 to maybe even 8,000 coins per hour, depending on how crowded the spawns are and what the price is going for on your server. On my server, at least, it generally sells for more as just raw fibers. But if you see linen going for like 2.5, maybe you convert. It's up to you to make that decision. Generally, I just sell as raw fiber. That's good enough for me. And same exact thing applies for stone. Don't refine the stone, just sell it as normal stone, and you will make probably 1,000 to 5,000 coins per hour, depending on the price, depending on the gear that you have. You want to make sure that you have the best possible gear, star metal or calcum, whatever the highest you can get depending on your level, in order for mining tools, craft these tools. You want to get these tools as high as possible. Another thing is that sometimes when mining stone, you will find what's called a sliver of adderstone. I actually have some in my inventory right here. Sliver of adderstone. It is used to add the best possible perk to bags that people craft with the armoring profession. And you can generally sell these for 1,000 coins or more on the market, the trading post, you know. The only catch is that you will probably only find these once every few hours. If you mine these, maybe once every 2 hours. It depends on how fast you're going and what else you find, how good tools you have and all that. And next we have skinning. Now this one can vary depending on if you're willing to use an exploit or not. So there are some good spots. If you're a solo player, you can go over to Offal Grotto in Monarch's Bluffs. This place is a great rotation where you can just go in a circle, just killing links really, really fast. You can probably get anywhere from 7 to 10,000 rawhide per hour. I'm not entirely sure. It just depends on your weapons, how fast you are, what skills you have, all that kind of stuff. But you'll probably end up with 3 to 7,000 coins per hour. It depends on prices. There's a lot of variables. It's going to change server to server. Another one that I want to mention is iron. Now, we're starting with the basics, but there is some better stuff coming. But iron is a great one. The price is going to, the amount of money you make per hour is going to vary very wildly depending on how many other rats are running around trying to scoop up all the iron, how good of tools you have, how good you are at getting the iron, if you know all the spawns in an area, that kind of thing. Some of the best places to mine iron are to the east of Cutlass Keys by Millbury Hills and this lake down here, Forlac, all the way through Elder Gate, this whole brown area. You find iron where the map is brown instead of green. This is mountain-ish area that has iron. Another good place is south of Monarch's Bluffs near Verdant Crown. Also to the east of Monarch's Bluff is a great place. And finally, east of Everfall, you have a little bit there, but Bear Claw Pass is another great place. Before I get to some more of the complex ones, I just want you to know that almost everything that you gather will make you money, but these types of things are pretty good too because moats sell for at least 1 gold a piece on most servers, so be sure to grab these when you run around. It'll just get you extra money, and that's not necessarily the best money, but it's another way to make money, so be aware that you can sell those and you can collect money while you're just out and about doing other things. Now this one's a little bit more complex. You're going to harvest briar buds from briar plants. These briar buds can be turned into weak mana potions. You can sell the weak mana potions all over the map for 5 to 15 a piece, maybe even more sometimes, and you can get lots of them in an hour. In an hour you can probably get 1,000 of these if you get a good briar bud farming spot, which is not where I'm at right now. A good spot would be to the west of Fort Windsward, along this river. There's also a lake up in Everfall. Go to Everfall, there's this lake right here. This lake, you can just run and grab them all, then go back to the beginning and repeat that cycle literally forever until you're burnt out. Now, the one catch to doing this is that harvesting briar buds gives no experience towards any profession. Now, making the weak mana potions will give you a teeny bit of arcana, but it's definitely not worth your time unless you are only focused on making money. But doing this will make you anywhere from 2,000 to even 10,000 coins per hour, depending on the price of weak mana potions and how fast you are at doing this and distributing them. Realistically, though, you'll probably make like 2,000 to 5,000 coins an hour, but it's a really fun way to make money. Another way to get money is to always loot provision stockpiles and provision crates when you are out and about in different places like Tres Campos or, you know, Trader's Hold, anytime you're out doing these quests, because they will drop yeast, salt, and sugar, as well as random cooking ingredients that you can sell on the market. Now, salt, sugar, and yeast, if you sell them in the right places, you could potentially get anywhere from 20 to 50 gold a piece for those. So while you're out, it's just another way to get more money doing the same things that you are already doing. Just make sure to always loot the provision ones and to always sell the salt, yeast, and sugar that you get from them. Another great way to make gold is actually from herbs. These are hyssop plants. It's not the hyssop that you're after. You'll sell that anyway, just get rid of it. But you see how I got ginger? You get spices and seasoning from hyssop. Every territory has different spices and seasonings that you find from hyssop plants. So you can go around to different ones and find good hyssop spawns in different territories and try to get good rotations. Like this one right here in the starter zone of Windsward. This will get you started. You can try it out. And you can get these hyssop plants. There's one here and there's another batch right over there. You can kind of see the purple in the distance there. You can get this group and then you can get that group. Then you can go cut trees and mine stone or whatever to get, like, you know, a baseline amount per hour while you're waiting for this to respawn. It takes about 4 to 8 minutes for all to respawn. So you can go ahead and grab all these herbs and then go for some trees, go all the way around that big mountain right there and come back around cutting all the trees, and then come for this, get it again, go to the other one, get it again, and just keep repeating that and repeating that. It's hard to say the exact amount you're going to make per hour because it's going to vary by server. It's going to vary over time. Like 6 months from now, prices will be different and things. But I would guess you'll make anywhere from 2,500 gold per hour to 10,000 gold per hour, just completely based on server prices and whatever you can get for these different herbs here, which is ginger and mint. And there's actually one more, I think. But everything else is going to require either the trading post or the trading post and a profession like smelting or outfitting or weaving or any of that type of stuff. So one thing that's hard about making money here is that as time goes on, everything changes. At one point, I could farm flint and make 10,000 an hour. Now flint's worth 0.5, so that is not possible anymore. But there are a bunch of ways to look, and 6 months from now things will be different, but let's just look at some right now. So one market, for example, that you can make money on, I've done this before, but I've gotten tired of doing it, so I'm not doing it anymore, is you can go and look, usually at Windsward, because Windsward's like the freaking capital of the world for selling stuff, followed by Everfall, at least on my server. And you'll go, for example, to get Arcana. And go to Arcana, and what you can do, I've done this before, and it generally works, is you can go in here and buy motes for 1 to 2 gold, or less than 1 gold if you see them for that. You'll go here, you'll buy 100, and then you will take them over to an arcane repository. And here, you will turn them into wisps. So, for example, fire wisps. And I don't know, let's make 48 of the things. Now, it takes 5 each for these, so you need to sell these for at least 5 times more than what you paid. So let's go back to the trading post. Alright, so fire's probably not the best one, but it's just to give you an example. So, fire arcana, if you scroll down, other people are selling it for like 6.4. So if I buy it for less than 1, I can probably sell it for 6. I can make like a 30-40% profit. Now, different times, different servers, different time of day, you might be able to sell this for 10. You might be able to sell this for 15. Let's go look at death motes, for example. Death wisps, not a good deal. You wouldn't want to do death wisps. Water arcana, nobody's really competing with water. If you get it for like 1, you sell it for 7. Now, people are starting to catch on to this one, so this one's not as viable as it used to be. But if you ever can take advantage of something like this, it takes almost no time, and you just stock up the auction house or trading post with a bunch of auctions and try to sell them. Now, this is not working as time goes on. And 6 months from now, everybody knows this, unless people get lazy, and then you can go in here and it'll totally work again. So you can try the same thing for getting up to water essence and sell it as water essence, which you might be able to do better, make more money with selling it something like this. Or you might even go all the way to quintessence and then make even more money because nobody's selling quintessence. So you just go look through these and try to find like the best conversion and then undercut and try to sell it. And you'd be surprised people actually buy this because it's used to make tuning orbs. These essences are. They're used for a lot of things. But one of the things they're used for tuning orbs, and generally people who are about to go run a dungeon just want to craft their dungeon key and go. They don't want to go to the auction house, buy motes, and then fast travel to another place that has an arcane repository tier 4, make it and come. But no, they're not going to do it. They'll just pay the 50 gold. They'll pay the 20 gold. So this is something you can take advantage of. So this is one way that per hour of time spent, if you get like lucky and it's working out on your server, heck, you could probably make like 20,000 gold per hour, I would say. I know I did, because I did it. I did it on day 2 of the server when literally nobody was competing with me, and I was selling the things for 25 gold a piece, and I was paying 0.5 a piece for the motes. And I was literally spending like 5 minutes and loading up the auction house, and then over the day I'd make like 20,000 gold. So that's how I was making gold in like day 2. So I don't know. But let's look at some other things. So here's one if you have a lot of money, okay? It's risky. This is a high risk one, but it can definitely be free money where you literally spend no time. And mathematically, you'd make like 100,000 coins per hour because if you do this fast enough, it'll take you 1 minute to relist it all. So go to Azoth, and we got the vials of suspended Azoth. If you watch your server every day, you'll get an idea for the general price that it sells for. On my server, for the last 10 days, it has varied between 200 and 300 gold. It has never changed between those two prices. Now, if I want to take a risk, I could go here when it's at 200 to 220 gold, usually in the mornings for some reason, and then I could buy all of it at that price, and then I could relist for like 280, and then when I go to list, so say pretend this was it, list it for 7 days or 14 days and just sit on it like a stock market, and just when the price goes up at some point, it'll sell. And when that happens, I just made money with absolutely no time spent, just my money invested. So it's a way to invest your money and make, 10,000, 20,000, 40,000, 100,000 an hour, depending on how many you buy and how fast you relist, and then just move on. So here's another one. I've actually never tried this myself, but I guarantee if you play it right, you could totally make some money, is in pigments and dyes. So you use these to dye your armor. You take these pigments, you go to a cooking station, and you convert them to dyes. Dyes sell for a decent amount because nobody wants to go get the pigments. The pigments are just really spread out, and there's no good place to just pick up a bunch. You got to go one, run for a minute, get another, assuming you even know where they spawn. Now, you could try to go farm them yourself, and you could make money that way, too. Or you can just go ahead and look for pigments. So type in pigment, and then pick random colors and see if you can find ones that are cheap. And then go to the cooking station and try to find ones that combine in order to make any kind of dye. And then listing that dye for cheaper than other people. So back to the dyes. Let's get back to the dyes. Dyes. You can see the cheapest one in Windward is 59. If you go to all settlements, cheapest one I see is 20. So if you can find a good deal on this, you could try to play this market. Now, this is something I've never tried, but I just don't have time and don't care anymore because I'm sitting on like 40,000 coins every single day, spending 20,000 a day just trying to get rid of my coins, just doing anything I want. So I just don't care to expand into other markets, but there are money opportunities literally everywhere in the trading post. Another money opportunity, and I don't know that this opportunity will last forever, but right now it is somewhat an opportunity, is buffing trophies. So there are trophies that require 75 furnishing ability. Once you have that, you can make these trophies and try to list them and undercut other people and sell them. Now, it's starting to be a competitive market without a lot of wiggle room anymore, but you could still potentially make money depending on how your server looks, especially if you're on a low pop server that's real far behind. But as time goes on, this one's probably going to be more and more competitive until it's literally impossible to make money. Although the most money to be made is most likely in the minor loot luck trophy. It takes a lucky rabbit's foot, and if you find a lucky rabbit's foot, or you just want to buy one for like 300 gold or whatever, find a good deal on one for 100 gold, you can convert that into a luck trophy and try to sell. So here's another market you can just play with and dabble with to try to make some money. This one's a little bit harder to deal with though, and the sales are going to be a lot slower, but you know, it's just another thing you can look into to make money. All right, so I got another one that I just thought of that I never even thought of before till I was poking around here trying to find more ways for you guys to make money. It is called infused health potions. This will absolutely not be around forever as a market opportunity, but the cheapest that these are going for is 24, and I can see why. Health potions are really nice for PvE and PvP. The catch is that you'll need Arcana 150 in order to make these. Now, the servers are only about 2 weeks old when I made this video, and apparently there's not a single person on the server who has Arcana 150. I'm at 140, so I think I'm going to grind up to 150 real fast, and then I'm going to buy, it's called, I think, Bottle of, no, I don't know what it's called actually, but the way you can organize is go through here to potion reagents, medicinal reagents, and then I need in here on the left, Azoth water. That's right, Azoth water goes for 1 gold a piece or less. Let's just pretend that I could make it right now. So you take some Azoth water. I think it was earth motes when I saw over there. So we would need earth motes, which are 1 a piece, and we needed, I think it was like air mote. I can't remember. It was 2 motes. So air motes, you know, I could get them for 1 to 3, whatever. So I would pay about 250 per potion. Now, we head over to the Arcane Repository. And if you go into here, you scroll down, I can't quite make it yet, but I'll be able to make it real soon. Infused health potion. So we can use Azoth water, which costs half a gold. We can use 1 earth mote, which costs 1 to 2 gold. And we can use 1 soul mote, which costs 1 to 2 gold. So in the worst case scenario, we pay 4.5 gold to make a potion that's worth 25 gold. So if I have my Arcana 150, I can probably sit here and every morning get on and buy a bunch of Azoth water, buy a bunch of motes, make about 200 to 300 of these, sell them for like 18 gold a piece, make about 15 gold on each one, and for the time that I spend, I don't know, I'd probably make like 50,000 coins an hour because I don't have to work very long. I work for about 10 minutes, and I set up like 10,000 gold worth of potions or something, you know, however many. So that's like the type of things you can do to make money. Every profession's got lots of different things that you can do. If you have high enough skinning, for example, you can go into here. You can buy coarse leather when you see it for like 1.5, and then sell the rugged leather for 4 or 5 a piece. Because if you have a full set of leatherworking accumulation armor like I do, and you have 200 leatherworking, which I almost do,
And if you use aged tannin, which is finally becoming available and cheap, you can get more than double the amount of rugged leather that you normally would get from coarse leather, which then makes it so that you can just buy coarse leather, convert coarse leather, and then sell the rugged leather and make money. Now, before we move on to the next topic of even bigger ways to make money, let's look at one last one. Now, I hate to give this secret away because I used to use this one some, but I am so burnt out on making money, guys. I just don't give a flying you-know-what anymore about making money. So, here's one thing that you can do. If you get high enough stone cutting, 100 to 150, you can go to Raw Resources, Raw Gemstones, scroll down here, and look at the pristine gemstones. So topaz, sapphire. The ones that people generally want are going to be opals. They're 200. Onyx, they're 500, which is a terrible deal. Then the people generally want emeralds, 400. Malachite was one that some people want, and it's only 115. Uncut, these are uncut. We got diamonds, and these are 550, and these vary wildly throughout the day, just so you know. And you can look through here and buy these when you see good deals. You can do the same thing for brilliant, or you can look at brilliant and you can buy 5. So like, for example, rubies are only 27 right now. I can buy 5 of these and convert them up into a pristine. So if I see the brilliant for cheap enough, I can basically buy a pristine ruby for significantly less, even though the pristine rubies are going for a lot more. In this case, it's about the same, but other times I've been able to find them where the lower ones are like 15 a piece, and I'm paying like 80 gold per pristine. But I'm not done yet. So what you will do is you will need to get some moats. So it will cost money to convert. So you want to make sure that you're actually watching your margins here and making money. And then once you convert them, which will be like 100 gold or 150 gold to cut each one, you will want to sell it. So that's why you're only going to stick to the good ones like onyx and opals and diamonds. So you go down here to a cut onyx, it's 540. Not the best deal, but if you get the onyx cheap, you can make it work. You go to the opal, it's 500. Well, I sometimes buy pristine opals for like 150 to 200 gold. I could just cut it, sell it, and make 100 gold on each one. Same thing kind of thing applies to diamonds. Diamonds are selling for 700. I have literally bought like 15 diamonds for less than 150 gold in the last 2 days. And I could take those. I could take some life quintessence, which actually just drops off of an enemy so you can get it cheap. I could cut the diamond, I could put it back on here, make 500 gold per diamond, literally doing almost nothing. Easily you could make like 100,000 gold an hour if there was enough supply, but there's not, so, I mean, you'll make per time if you're fast at it, like 50 to 100,000 gold an hour, but you'll only work like 10 minutes a day. So 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, whatever if you're really fast at it. But this is one way you can make some pretty crazy money. Now, this method may not be around forever, or maybe it will. I don't know. 6 months from now, everyone will know that you can do this or think about this, but maybe they'll just get lazy. Maybe they won't. Maybe it'll be competitive. Who even knows? Another thing that you can do, if you're like me, where you got ahead, is I have 184 jewel crafting. I am the only person on this entire server who has jewel crafting above 150. Because of that, I can buy these gemstones, these pristine gemstones, whenever I see them cheap. And then I can cut them, and I can make them into, wait for it, if I even have one sitting around, I'm sure I do somewhere. I don't have one sitting around, but I have it in my orders. I already have some listed. Pristine emerald earring, 1,900 gold. Pristine aquamarine earring, 2,000 gold. I'm making like 1,500 gold on every single one of these pieces of jewelry that I make with very little time investment, literally just buying gems and motes and cutting them and then making them into jewelry and converting my Azoth. If I run out of Azoth, guess what I can do? I can just buy more Azoth from vials of suspended Azoth. I'm making such ridiculous profit margins that I can just do this. I hate to give away the secret, but I just don't even care anymore because I'm level 60 and I have everything I want. I have armoring 200 and jewel crafting basically 200. I literally have 92 brilliant topazes in my inventory, 72 brilliant malachites. I literally have like 100,000 gold worth of materials in my inventory, or more. I just don't even care anymore, which is why I'm showing you guys all this stuff. And jewel crafting's not the only one. I could sit here if I wanted with my 200 armoring skill. I'm literally the only person in the entire server who can make gear score 600 armoring stuff if I have the right materials. And I could just sell orichalcum boots, for example.
Nobody else even has any listed. I'm literally the only person who can make the fur line set. Same for the other one. I mean, other people might be able to make the other one. I don't know. Can anybody even make the gauntlets? I don't see anybody listing any of the other stuff. So I could probably do the same thing as with the jewelry. That do it here. But at this point, I'm just burnt out and lazy, and I'm just so sick and tired of even doing all this stuff. I don't really care to make 100,000 gold an hour with my time. I don't care to make 200,000 gold a day, but you guys can. So if you guys want money and you want to try to speed run your armoring up, feel free. But this kind of thing won't be around forever. I'm going to tell you right now, both these last two ones will not be around forever, because in 6 months, it's like RuneScape. In 6 months, everyone will be leveled up because there's nothing stopping anyone from getting all of their trade skills all to the max. So someday this will not be viable anymore, and if you are too slow to jump ahead of the curve on this kind of thing, it will not work out for you. But you can always try. You know, if you are patient and you look through and you look at the price of earrings, and if you get good rolls and you sell them, I mean, who knows what you could do or pull off. But it's definitely something to look at. Take your time, crunch some numbers, and see what you can do. But don't worry, this ultimate gold guide does not end here. That's right, I have even more for you guys. So there's things that I am too lazy to do that I could take to a whole nother level. So for example, let's go look at rawhide. So rawhide selling for 0.54. Let's look at all settlements. Oh wow, that's a good deal in Monarchs. If I was in Monarchs, I'd buy that. That's actually an insane deal. So generally, rawhide across the world will vary from 0.25 to 0.6 right now in my server. Now, 2 weeks from now, that range may be different, but right now, that's generally where you will see it. So one thing that you can do is anytime that you see rawhide below a certain price, so let's say 0.4, anytime you see it below 0.4, you buy it. Then what you do is you go to sell it in Windsward, preferably, or Everfall, where the most bulk of things sell. Go to your resources. Let's pretend that this is the rawhide that I just bought, okay? I bought this for 0.3 on average, and let's sell it for 0.59 or something, okay? So if this were to sell, even though I just bought it for 0.3, I'm going to sell it for almost double. So what we're going to do is list all of it, and we're just going to list it for 28 days, or 14, whichever way you want to play it, okay? I would just go for the full 28. And then I would list it, and after a day or two, there's going to be price fluctuations throughout the day, throughout the week, and at some point throughout the week, the price is going to fluctuate above 0.6. It's almost like stock market or stock options, if you know what stock options are. And once it goes above that point, at some point, then it will sell and you'll get your money. Another good idea when you're doing this is look at what's already available. So at 0.59, there's already people doing this exact same thing. I almost guarantee that's what all these 6,000 stacks are in Cutlass Keys, okay? Maybe not, actually. It might just be some crazy guy grinding rawhide. Come to think of it, that's about 5 hours of rawhide grind. But so say that there's a crap ton listed there, and so maybe I go for 0.58 to undercut that to make sure that I'm at like the front of the line, and I don't have to wait for 50,000 of it to sell, So kind of look at what's available, make sure that you are not screwing yourself by putting yourself in front of some guy who has 50 million listed. But it's best to look at just Windsward. So yeah, 0.59 for the. So if it was me, I would list for 0.58, just slightly under that, and I would just give it 28 days. It'd probably sell within anywhere from 6 to 48 hours. Chances are, maybe not, maybe it will, maybe it won't. But you just sit on it like a stock market. You can apply this to a lot of different things. You can apply this to just stone. Let's look at stone. You can just apply this to stone. Stone does the same thing. You can apply this to greenwood. Greenwood's the same kind of deal. You can do this for, you could probably do this for just pretty much any of these basic mats, even aged wood. You could do this. You could definitely do it for charcoal. You can absolutely do it for iron ingots. Iron ingots. Although iron ingots have slowly been trending down on my server, so I'd be kind of afraid to get into anything that is continuously trending down, but same kind of thing. So you get the idea on that. So look through it and try to see if you want to play stock market. Is investing your money, and worst case scenario, you end up with mats for slightly more than what they should cost if the price just tanks for long term. But it's something you can do to just turn money into more money without doing any effort and putting in any time at all. I mean, literally like a minute a day just playing with this thing. I mean, doing this, honestly, you could probably make like 200,000 gold an hour because you're only spending like 2 minutes a day even messing with it and making like, 10,000 every day or something on 2 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And you could stake it even a step further. You can place buy orders. Now, this will take your money out immediately.
But let's say I'm going to buy iron for 1.4. I'll buy up to, let's say, 1,000 ingots. I'll leave that order up for 14 days. Why not? And then I will place order. Now, hopefully, somebody will sell it for that, and I will get my iron ingots. And if so, then I get them cheaper, and then I can go ahead and just relist them. You know, it's just stock market. You can just sit here and play stock market all day if you want. You can even look for relisting opportunities on small things. Like you could go over to cooking. Oh wait, no, it's under this one. Cooking recipes, for example. You could go through here and check this every morning, and if somebody lists something that's actually good, which I don't see anything actually good on here for cheap, but if you do see something that's actually good, like if somebody were to list this savory vegetable medley for 200 gold, you could just buy it and relist it for like 1,700 gold, and it would probably sell eventually in a few days. So that's another way, just buying and selling, looking for good deals and all that. I feel like I've covered pretty much everything here. There's obviously more ways to make money. I mean, you can go fishing and sell fish oil for like 500 an hour, 1,000 an hour. You can go fishing for legendary fish for 1,200 an hour or something on average. I mean, you can go and you could chop. I actually don't think you chop is greenwood, really. All the other stuff's absolute garbage. But you can chop greenwood, which I already mentioned. Even when you're just out and about, you can look for life bloom plants when they drop the stems, and those stems can be converted into common health potions. Common health potions are one of the hardest potions to get as far as ingredients go, and you'll be able to sell them for probably 15 a piece. So every time you're out and you see one of those white looking flower things, be sure to grab it for the life bloom stem. Life bloom stem. And use a life bloom stem to make a common potion. Another thing you do is check for life bloom stems in the market. Or the other one was plate cap flesh. I think there's more than these. These are the common ones though. So right now, if I wanted to go to Brightwood, I could just buy plate cap flesh for 4 or 5 a piece. I could go over here or go anywhere, convert it into common mana potion or common health potions, sell them for 15 gold a piece because common health potions sell for a lot. You know, it doesn't even stop here. I've got another way for you guys to make money. So I used to do this in the closed beta. I would do it now if I didn't have obligations as the crafter for my company, who has 200 armoring and 184 jewel crafting, who literally is constantly busy trying to make things for people and barely have any time for myself to even play the game. You can do things like, I used to do this all the time. Let's start with rawhide. Actually, I'm going to go through each one. Let's show you the cycle here. So rawhide, look for all settlements. And I'm like, okay, Monarch's Bluffs. Now maybe I open up a notepad. I write down that I need to swing by Monarch's Bluffs as soon as possible to pick that up. Hopefully it's not gone by the time I get there. Then I would look at coarse leather. Okay, let's look at coarse leather. There's not really any great deals. Let's go to rugged leather. And there's not really any great deals anywhere in the world. Let's look at layered leather. Okay, layered leather, I don't remember offhand if that's actually a good deal. I think it's a pretty bad deal, actually, come to think of it. All right, let's move on to the next one. Let's look at fibers. I actually stopped looking at fibers because there's almost never a good deal on fibers. Linen. Sometimes there's good deals on linen, and there's not right now. Let's look at sateen. Now, sateen, I very often find good deals. So I could go to Morningdale. There's actually only one available. But if there was more than one available, I'd go there. Someone already bought all but one. And I would have bought like 100 or however many he had, and then swing back here and sell them for 5 apiece. Same thing for silk. Take a look at silk. 7 is a reasonable price. There's not a lot available, not worth my time. Let's look at iron ingots. Iron ingots, not really anything crazy. And this is a bad example right now because it is like 9 p.m. It is like peak hours in North America. And during peak hours, the market gets sorted out better. The best time to do what I'm doing right here is to do this first thing in the morning, like 8 a.m., 10 a.m., 9 a.m., that type of time. And you'll be able to get on and find great deals. And oh my god, that is the most amazing deal on star metal. Do you like right here? Okay. 339 star metal for 7 gold a piece. It takes 6 iron ingots and 2 flux in order to make a star metal ingot, assuming the ore is free, which star metal ore is generally free. Star metal ore, basically free. But still, iron ingot. Look at that, my item purchase. I bought those iron ingots for 1.4, by the way. I could turn around and sell those right now and make 50% on that money I just invested. Okay, iron ingots. So 2 apiece. So if I buy 6 of these, that is 12 right off the bat. So that star metal is literally half of the minimum price, at least, in order to make that.
So I would buy that, and I might just use it. It's such a good deal. I could probably relist it for 9.8, and it would sell at some point over the 24-hour period with market fluctuations. So these are the type of deals that you would look for. You can find more and more and more things like this if you just keep looking and thinking and trying to find different markets to get invested in. And as time goes on and the market stabilizes, you'll find even more. Like right now, orichalcum ingots have just been introduced in the last few days on my server, and the market is still kind of inflated. It's hard to sell because everyone knows it's a little overpriced. And once everything stabilizes, you'll be able to play the game. Even on things like orichalcum, you'll see it go low, you'll buy it, you'll list it higher, and it'll sell eventually. So you can just do stuff like this all day. So that's my final way of playing this. I think that's pretty much everything. If now you know pretty much every possible idea of how to make money. Now there's more ways to make money than this, but these strategies and these principles that I just outlined for you are basically going to cover every spectrum of everything that you do to make money. There's obviously one more way, which is go to high-level dungeons, and if you find some super awesome gear that's not bind on pickup, you can maybe sell it for like 8,000 gold or something, but per hour it's going to suck, because chances are you're going to grind for like 72 hours before finding something good that you don't just want to use yourself. But that is actually something that's worth doing, though, because you should probably be grinding anyway for gear score and getting up gear score, that type of thing. So it might be a win-win for you, but as far as just grinding out money, that type of thing is not good. But there's so many ways to make money, guys. I cannot even express to you enough how many ways there are to make money. It's always like this in every MMO. When there's a trading post auction house system, money is literally just free right in front of your face. You just got to search in this market and find it. I've given you so many free ways to make money. You can easily make, for your small investment of time, like 100,000 gold an hour with some of these methods, because you'll literally spend 2 minutes a day and make 10,000 gold in a day and things, with only spending like 5 minutes or less. So now you know some insane ways to make coins in New World. Hopefully this will get you started. Hopefully you can find your own ways. I know some of you are going to be like, darn, he outed my strategy. Now people know that about making wisp and all that. And that's just how it's got to be. But the more people who know, the less profitable this is going to be. But that's just life. But either way, you were looking for ways to make coins, and hopefully now one of these million different ways that I showed you will work. You can finally have mass amounts of coins, buy your 20,000 coin houses, have 3 houses, fill them with doggos, floating in the air, and all that stuff, whatever you want to do now, because now you finally know how to make stupid amounts of coins in New World.